and welcome to Facility Representative Training 2020-2021. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Kay Young. I teach English most of the time at Mesquite Academy. Do a lot of social SEL training as well. Wanted to thank you all for being here this morning. I appreciate you practicing social distancing. I appreciate you taking care of the minutia that is involved with being a MEA facility representative. First of all, I would like to let you meet some people that we have here today with us. From our own Mesquite Education Association, we have past president Derry Ghana, Diane Nix, Kevin Morgan, and beginning her first term as former president Donetta Allen. This is the home of Donetta and our president-elect, Christy Hernandez. Vice President Kim Davis. We also have Treasurer Vicki Colbath. She's so cute. It's amazing to me. I'm crying at some of the stupidest things.
Okay, I am too. It's right.
The wall is going to be a big brother, just girls. And our newest executive board members are Kim Mashna from North Mesquite and Tamara
Garcia.
Tamara at
I'm at Lawrence this upcoming year.
Lawrence.
Yes.
You can call us, you can yell at us, you can do whatever. But if you really want to know what's going on, you gotta call Susan. As I'm sure every one of you know, if you don't take care of the administrative assistant, nothing gets done. So, thank you, Susan, for everything you've already done for me. I don't know what I'm gonna do without you. So don't go.
Don't leave.
We also have, in another role, Donetta is also the current, or about to be, the president of Region 10 for ATPE. So she's in the register. And she's going to show you our cool, and talk to you for just a second about our cool trophy that we won for ITI. And then our about to be ATPE regional director is Wanda Bailey. And Wanda is next door at Florence Black. And she is another one of those administrative assistant people you have to take care of. She was speaking to me a while ago. Her principal was one of my students the very first year I taught. And when you think about that, you're going, I'm starting my 36th year, so that's, when you start out, you think, oh yeah, I'll do it for 20, 25 years, get married, have the kids, you know. Now, I'm getting married in December. I've never married, so.
Bachelor party.
Huh?
Bachelor party.
He is a professor at A&M Commerce. So, if you would send good thoughts, whatever, he has an interview for a professor position at A&M Commerce. He's interviewed in Chicago, Illinois, Santa Barbara, California, and Lubbock, Texas. So we're really hoping for today. At breakfast, once again, that's Tommy G's. If you ever need the information about, they also do hamburgers and hot dogs and stuff like that, just like they did today. They're an approved vendor with the district, so if you need their contact information, get a hold of Susan if you want to do something. Want to thank, they're not in the building, they're not here right now, but those of you that were here a little before 9, the first thing I wanted to do was to thank the Agnew staff, and so we fed them first. Because you can't do anything if you don't have a clean building. You can't do anything if you don't have somebody to unlock the doors. So we asked them to come down and break bread with us this morning, and I think they actually took their burritos and went somewhere else. But that's what am I forgetting, Kevin? Nothing. Okay. Jerry, Diane, what am I forgetting? Okay. Now, if you will, like I said, Dr. Freeland is gonna be here around 10:30. So in case you're wondering why we didn't get the show on the road, that's why. So we are gonna be here until at least 10:40. I'm gonna guess, but it does start. So we need to 11:15. The last meeting we had before summer, back in late May, early June, we went to Kearney, and he told us that the school board had approved a $1,000 for every employee raise. No percentages, nothing like that, $1,000 flat. For those of you that are paraprofessionals, I'm sure that made a huge difference. For those of you that depend on more insurance to carry the family because your spouse is in a field where there's not insurance, I'm sure that helps tremendously.
I was something about that. Everybody has family insurance or employing children. You've got even bigger rates because the rates went down.
Oh, yes.
Employee only rates went up, but employing children, employing spouse, and family went down.
Yay! Yay! That's cool. If you don't know, Lisa Porter.
Yeah.
Lisa Porter is at benefits. So, if you need help with benefits, they're doing Zoom meetings. Or if you send out information to your staff, they're doing Zoom meetings if you have questions about doing your current update. But, so that was, we want to hear from Dr. Breland. I think we need to see him and he needs to see us. So that's what we're going on. All right, like I said, the first sheet is going to be your, it's going to be when the meetings are, when our questions are due. We're either going to be in the boardroom or the vision room at the new PDC. I don't guess it's new. I guess it's just PDC now. So that's pretty cool. Make sure you know when our questions are due, and those go into the Google form. That's on our link to that.
I just want to make sure I understand this new PDC thing, because I sometimes get it wrong. You're not talking administration building, right? The PDC still, the administration building? Okay, so they call that the same name.
The David Bell Professional Development Center. And it's connected by a hallway to the administration building. And there, it has its own parking lot there.
Because I've got that wrong.
Yeah, you're not coming to see me anymore over the weekend, because I can't just walk the meetings. I guess I could have. Okay, let's see. We're going to get into training session. So the first thing that we're going to talk about are Donetta and Kim are going to talk to you about one of our most important things that we deal with at MEA. It's been a tremendous help to many employees, and that's our safety plan.
Can I talk about this first?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm gonna step out of MEA for a second and into ATPE, just so I'm in a different role. So we won the local unit of the year this year, which was pretty cool. It gave us a little bit of extra money, so, you know, we can take more people to Summit next year, stuff like that. It's a pretty cool award, because we get to be up against people like Plano and the big districts. The one thing I'm going to say about ATPE, when I'm not in my MEA role, I'm in my ATPE role, is make sure when you are talking to people that this is a weird time. We're in the middle of COVID. So now it's not just that you have some kind of legal liability, it is imperative. I worked for a law firm before I came into education, and people sue for everything. So if we don't think there's gonna be COVID lawsuits, we are kidding ourselves, because there will be. And what'll happen is, you'll go into your classroom, one of your kids will get sick, you'll get the COVID, another kid will get it, and for some reason, those parents are gonna say it was you that gave them the COVID, and they're gonna they're gonna file a lawsuit, because that's what they do. So it is gonna be very, very imperative that you have that legal liability insurance. We grew, one of the reasons we got this is because our district grew in ATPE members. And so as Region 10 president next year, one of the things that I wanna do is hit 20,000. Where I'm gonna get 5,000 more members, I do not know, but we're gonna find them.
I got a meeting with Grandpa.
Oh, good. Yeah, we're gonna find them, and we're gonna sign up those 5,000, because we had that goal last year, and somebody said, well, let's just keep the same goal, and I said, yeah, but I'm OCD, so if I don't meet my goals, it stresses me out. So somehow or another, we're gonna meet that 5,000, even if we get some of them from within Mesquite ISD. Most of our people are there, so we don't have to worry about it, but there are a lot of things we're gonna have to take into consideration. Payroll deduct, they're trying to take it away again. So we're gonna have to watch that, because I think that they think we're all gonna be so focused on the COVID that we're not gonna pay attention to that, and they're gonna be able to get that and have it eliminated. So, we just need to kind of watch that as we go. That's all I have for you. You have anything for you?
Nope, there's not a lot I know right now. I'm just stepping into the role new and haven't had my first meeting yet, so.
Shit, yeah, we have a meeting tonight and I forgot. Yes, ma'am.
You have to, it's not automatic renewal, right?
It is right now.
It is for right now.
Okay, so
So,
automatically renewed.
if you are on payroll deduct, it will automatically. But they are trying to get rid of that, so if you're on payroll deduct, it will automatically roll over for now. But I have a feeling when they come to meet in January, if we're not paying attention, we're gonna be up the creek. So,
They've been trying to do that for the past 3 to 5 years. Yeah.
it's like, they'll throw in a couple of things, and then they'll throw in vouchers, and then they'll throw in a couple of things, and they'll throw in payroll deduct, and they put it inside of a bill that you would never think to look at, so then the bill passes, and you have no idea that they just passed the elimination of payroll deduct. So we have to, that's why we have some fantastic people up there at ATPE that are working for us, and they're watching those bills, and they're gonna keep us informed. If you don't know about, Teach the Vote on the ATPE website, you need to check out Teach the Vote. You need to go see that. Yes, ma'am.
You're saying they will take it away, who's they?
Our legislators, our senators, and our, yeah.
But other organizations like AFT, and they don't want the payroll deduct, because then it just automatically renews over. They would prefer you to go with them, so.
Well, it automatically goes over.
But that's why they're trying to do away with it, so
So you have to go
the
sign up every
season
year.
goes on, the year starts, oh, I forgot to renew, I have nothing. See what I'm saying? So that's why they want it to go away, because once it's gone, if you don't stay on top of it, just like Kevin just said, and I didn't think about it, credit cards. If you pay with a credit card, you have to renew every year with your credit card.
I didn't.
Huh? Yeah, unless you changed your credit card like I had to this year,
I
you know,
did,
so,
just renewed.
yeah. So you're good, yeah.
And our elected officials too, the politicians don't want it either, guys. It's like, our representatives that Donette is talking about are really strong. Our advocates in Austin are really strong. And when you come at them and you say you have 110,000 members, that's powerful. Politicians have to listen to that. So unfortunately, a lot of people, if it's not allowed in a rollover situation, they forget about it, or they just don't do it.
Yeah.
And then it becomes, and our numbers become less, and the politicians don't want it, and they're, oh, that group's just 70,000.
And a lot of people don't even realize that it didn't, didn't renew.
They'll
Until
call.
there's a situation,
Yes.
and then it's like, well, I thought it renewed. Well, unfortunately, it didn't, so that's why we are determined to keep it as a rollover.
We actually had a couple of people that wanted to go to Summit. And so they sent me an email and they said, hey, sign me up for Summit. And when I went to sign them up, I couldn't sign them up because they weren't members.
Yeah.
And they had no idea that they hadn't renewed.
Yeah.
So it's so much easier to have it payroll deduct, because then we don't have to worry about it. It just renews and we're good to go. So that's what we've been fighting that for years,
It's still fine.
and we're still gonna fight, and we're gonna be fighting it for many more years. So it's just, yeah, I could really go into that, but I won't, because then I'll be talking longer than Dr. B. So, it's funny, Kay Davis and I are gonna talk about sick bank, and we're the ones without the mask. We're gonna stand way over here. Way over here. I am gonna open one of these books to sick bank, just so that we don't forget anything. So, here's how sick bank kinda works. It's there for you in case there's like a long-term illness. And I will say, if you're not in it, you need it. I did not know the first year how bad I needed that. So somebody said, please tell me you're a member of sick bank. And they called Susan and they got me in really quick because when I came down with cancer at the age of 43, 44, at the age of 31, who thinks I'm 31? I didn't know I'd be using sick bank days. I mean, I was healthy. I was young. And thank God I got in on that, because I will tell you that when I had my reconstruction surgery, it cost me 5 months of pay, even with sick bank. So it's important. The sick bank is important. And how that works is you donate a day. So when you get, once they take that day, you'll see it come out and you'll be thinking, oh, I didn't take a day, but it's gonna come out. And it's good for 5 years, unless you use it. If you use 1 day of sick bank, then you have to redonate the next year, okay? So if you use it, you're gonna have to, is it 2? Did I say it wrong? 2, sorry, Susan, 2. I said 1 just to keep me safe. You're gonna have to redonate the next year. You guys will have a list of who has to redonate, okay? Or who has to donate, period. Talking to your new teachers, this is important. It's important that they know, why they need sick bank. I don't care if you're coming into teaching, you're 20-something years old. You can get in a car wreck. There's all kinds of things that can, and with COVID, we're gonna be looking at whole new issues. I know that the CARES Act is putting things in there for teachers, but we still wanna make sure that we are protected. Sick bank does not cover pregnancy. So we can't do that because, I mean, poor Vicky shouldn't get sick bank from her pregnancy.
Well,
But
I did get sick bank when I had to go to the hospital for preeclampsia and high blood pressure, and I did. So it did cover that, but it doesn't cover normal, just
yeah.
pregnancy. But
So if there's a
if you're high risk, it's
complication,
a problem.
yeah. If there's a complication,
Or if you're put on bed
or if you're
rest.
put on bed rest and stuff like that, that's a little bit different because that's not normal, But if you go in the hospital and you have to have a cesarean, that's part of having a baby. They're not gonna cover that. What am I leaving out, Kay Davis?
Well, does sick bank cover if, say, for instance, my spouse or my parent is ill and I've got to take care of them? Okay, just employee then.
Are your, which one is it?
Tenure covers if it's
If you're a family member? Okay.
Speaking of tenure, you have to go through all of your days and all of your tenure days before sick bank will kick in. And Susan is, she's a genius. I'm just gonna tell y'all that because I got to sit there and listen to her all year long. So people call her and she just clicks a little button and she'll say, oh no, you don't need that because you still have tenure days. Or she'll say, okay, well your tenure days will be at this, so we'll go ahead and put you in. And there's a team of people that are the sick bank committee. It goes to the sick bank committee, we find out what it's for, and we make a decision. If it's for something long-term, I believe, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, don't you have to be out like 20 consecutive days? Is it 20? No, we kinda don't.
No, because we started on the
Yeah.
consecutive because people were working for.
Yeah, so.
That might not be happening this year, but yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of strange. We just have to look at it on a case-by-case basis.
No employee names are given to the
No.
sick bank committee.
So we have no idea who that is.
This is about
Um,
sick leave bank,
Yeah, you have a whole sheet. You can read that if you want to be, yes ma'am.
tenure.
On tenure days, is it, because I know we get 15 days if we've been employed 11 months. Is that for the entirety of our career? 'Cause like I used a couple of them. Do I get those back the next year, like with the thing up? Or once that,
for tenure.
yeah.
After 10 years.
Or is it like once you use all your tenure days, you never have them again, no matter how long you work?
No, but there is a maximum that you can use, but then if you're 0 to 10 years, there's a maximum. But then once you get to your 11th year, then they start
Okay, so
over.
I've been working for 13 years within this PISD.
Okay, so you
I
have.
had to use like 5 of mine last year due to, workers' comp. Do I get those 5 years back, or are they gone forever?
They're gone.
They're gone,
There's
because
a thing-
I think you can only use 20 in a year, but a total of 50 that you get. Once you use 50 tenure, then you can't use any more.
Okay, so there's 50 total.
Well, here's how that works. There's a blue sheet right here that tells you. So from 0 to 10, you get 15 days, okay? A maximum of 30.
Right, but it just doesn't specify a year, so that's why I didn't even know about it.
Oh, yeah, it's 15, oh, and I just read that wrong too. It's 15 per year.
Per year.
Per year. So if you're a first-year teacher and you have to be out, you can get 15 days. But if you are a second-year teacher and you didn't use those days the year before, and you have to be out for something, you have 30. Okay, then they're gone for that whole
It's
10
still
years.
15 per
15
year.
year, total
Donetta,
credit.
explain.
30 days over the,
Blue sheet
over the
has it,
10-year
guys.
period.
But you can only get a max of 15 per year. If you need it next year, you can get another 15.
But like
Well,
if you
that's-
go over into the next year and you also use an additional 15, that would be 30, you're done.
You're done, right.
Explain
to them
what that covers as far as money goes.
Until year 11. Once you get to year 11, then you're gonna get an additional, it says up to 20 days with a max of 50. So you're gonna get an additional 20 once you get to year 11 if you've used them all. And that pays, what that does is, when you use a tenure day, instead of taking out like, it's almost $300, right, now, when you're out a day and you get charged, instead of taking out that, it takes out your sub pay. I think it's like 75, 80, I may have gone up, but it just.
you get the rest of your.
You get the rest of your paycheck, it just takes out the sub pay. Yes, ma'am.
Is that tenure within the CISD or tenure for your whole education career?
Tenure for the whole education career.
Tenure for if,
That's not specific to Mesquite ISD. That's for
Well,
the
but I
state of
think
Texas.
tenure days, we need to double check on that. Because I thought tenure days was more of a CISD.
Not all districts have tenure days.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
I'm
learning something new every day.
Count from other districts for tenure.
They don't. Oh, they do or they don't?
I don't know. That might be a question we need to find out and, answer them.
Susan, we're gonna find out if tenure days count in other districts.
It says years of experience in Mesquite ISD.
That's what I thought. If I tell you how many years I've been in Mesquite, y'all will die. Older than some of y'all.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a little paper that says Mesquite, this little white paper with the highlight.
Uh-huh.
Is this what we give our school staff? Do they have to fill this out?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so we need to make
Some of
sure
them do.
everyone in our building.
Yes, no, you'll get a list, because some of them have already donated to sick bank.
Right.
And you only have to do it every 5 years.
Oh, I gotcha.
So
So
your
let's say
list you get will.
I gotcha, okay.
And if I were you, I would take that list, I would make that number of copies.
Right, right.
And I would even write, because I'm just this
Their
way,
names.
I'd even write their name on it, that way they don't have to do
Yeah.
anything except sign it. And I would go to it, I would slap it down in front of them and say, here, this is what you're doing.
Okay.
Because it's important.
She'll give you, she's gonna send it to you in the mail. Awesome.
Okay.
It's amazing how that will work. Guys, when you're talking, the one thing that somebody called me about, and I said, I will make sure to address this at the FR, and I almost forgot. Your cafeteria workers and your custodial staff, we had a cafeteria worker call and ask about ATPE and say nobody told them about being a part of it. And nobody told them about sick bank. What I did here, Mr. Martinez spoke Spanish, and so I took him with me to talk to the custodial staff and to talk to the cafeteria workers, because they need all these protections that we're talking about just as much as the teachers and the paras and everybody else in your school. And so one of the things that I was really concerned about was that one of the cafeteria workers called and said they needed to use it, but nobody had ever told them about it. And so I told him I would make sure we talked about that at the training. We really need to make sure that we don't forget our cafeteria workers, our custodial staffs, our bus drivers, our administrators, everybody. Is anybody here over transportation? Anybody here over transportation? They have an FR, so they kind of get somebody to do that, but the custodial staff does not. Yes, ma'am.
We've had a couple that have left in the middle of the year, and we've gotten new people, so it might not be a bad idea to have like the secretary or something let you know when we get new people. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't know the captains, I don't see, so it might not be a bad idea to have them let you know when we get new people, because they can still.
Well, there is a cutoff for the legal protection with ATPE, and I would have to check on the date.
Or MEA or something, they can still join.
MEA you can join anytime during the year. Sick leave bank is only in September. Those forms have to be turned in by September 1. The day, one of the local days comes out at the paycheck at the end of September, and that's the only time
She's here.
One group that's often forgotten are the substitutes. And if you, when we ever get back to class, and if you have a substitute, I would just leave on the form to join, or maybe not. Can they join sick bank? They can't join sick bank.
They can't join MEA or sick
But they need to join MEA, and please do that. We totally forget our substitutes. And so go back and provide them something that they can join. MEA?
ATPE.
Well, for liability, they do need that. The substitute group, so keep thinking about your substitute in whatever situation you're in.
Susan said because of the life insurance, they can't join
Yeah.
MEA, but they can do ATP.
Susan informed me earlier that 350 days were granted for sick bank this year.
This past year.
So being used.
That's quite a bit. Quite a bit.
I think that's it. I was trying to ask you questions. I prompted you.
Well, apparently I had it wrong. See,
I think
this
we're
is
good
why,
to go.
this is why I defer to Susan, because she knows everything. People call and they'll say, and they'll ask me a question, just a minute, let me check on that. She's your go-to. Susan knows everything. 5504. That's what you dial. 5504. She can answer everything. All right.
5504.
Yay, sick day. Yay, sick day.
Let me add something real quick. If you have somebody in your faculty that has, is sick and they've had a catastrophic event, and they can't apply for this, and you and your secretary are working with them, and you already know that they've used all their days and they've already probably are getting close to tenure, you and your secretary can have they can fill that out for them if they are still at the hospital or something has happened. They don't physically have to come up there because they can't. Am I right, Susan?
I'm sorry, I was listening to you. What
I'm
did you
sorry,
say?
that if the FR and the secretary might can go together and help someone if they've had a catastrophic event and they can't come up to fill out their form.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay? That was, that's what I needed to know.
Hey, next we're gonna talk about your roles and your responsibilities, and that is a tab. Your facility representative chair this year is Tamara. That's where I started, and, if you ever ask me what position I would take that one over and over again. I love working with y'all. So, I think your responsibility and your key position in this district cannot be overemphasized. Our unique responsibilities also afford us some unique opportunities in that we can listen to Dr. Broomlin. We can see our superintendent every month. If we don't see him, we see Dr. Rivera, who has a fancy new title. Chief of Strategic Initiatives and Community Engagement. Does that sound like the other duties as assigned part of our contract? That's exactly what I saw when I saw Dr. Rivera's name on there. So, Tamara and I are gonna go through the FR responsibility sheet. It's a light green sheet. Pink one's about your questions. The scholarship banquet basket. And we are did get, Todd said he would come back. So, he's gonna honor his contract with us and we get first dibs on those April dates. So we're gonna get that going in. He's doing some really good stuff for teacher self-care if you follow him. No liquor or lottery tickets.
That's my idea. Just something important real quick, just in case. If you need the restroom, if you go out these doors right there, or these doors right here, and follow it, there's a little hallway right there, and the restroom's right there.
Do we need to take a 4-minute break? Go to the restroom or keep going? Keep going. Okay. Your MEA application directions are on there. And then your payment options and explanations. So let's look at the light green sheet first.
your light green sheet in here. It tells you kind of some different things. The first thing's membership. So your role as an FR is to recruit members and collect membership and beneficiary forms, which are the forms that we just kind of talked about with sick bank and the MEA form and your ATPE form that's in here. You're also going to collect anybody who cancels something. Also, you're going to collect MEF forms. So when the foundation rep comes, your job will also be to collect those and to make sure those get to MEF, to that office. And all dues, donations, and forms need to get to the PDC by selected dates. Do not send cash through the mail. Like, don't send cash. You can send checks to Susan, but you can't send cash, so don't put cash in the envelope to her. Make sure that you're always attending the scheduled FR meetings. If you're unable to attend, make sure that you have your alternate come so that they can come to the meeting and get the information to represent your staff. Your alternate should also be prepared and is always welcome to attend anytime. So you both can come, or you can just have that person come whenever you can't come. MEA news, make sure your facility has a special place where MEA stuff can be. You maybe have a board in the office or something like that where you can pin nice fun things that we send to you guys that your staff might be interested in. You'll also get the email each month that you'll forward to your staff as well with MEA news in it. If you need help, 5504 is who you contact, Susan Goodson. You share your meeting information with your facility with written, posted, and electronic emails, which I just spoke about. When the information is distributed at the meetings, you're gonna post them up on that board and you'll get the email and stuff. FR questions are digital, so that there's that form that gets filled out and it's due by the dates that are on that first paper in the front of your notebook. Make sure that gets filled out if somebody has a question. I've also had somebody who didn't want their name on it, and so they like popped it in my box with no name on it so that they could ask the FR question, but they didn't want to like fill out the form. So that's possible too, where we can hand that to Susan and she can help input that. Answers to FR questions are presented and reviewed at each monthly FR meeting, so you'll get a little packet that'll be stapled. It's usually white colored. Each meeting that'll have the answers to the FR questions, and then you'll bring that back to your. I like to put it in the break room and stuff. I learned that from Diane. Putting it in the break room and then maybe in the office area by the mailboxes, so that people can see the FR questions. And I like to email it too, so that way they have kind of something to read while they're eating lunch or it's over